take where you feel like you've got momentum back. It's just like, okay, well, I have a win now.
So, okay, I stopped him doing that build 3 times in a row. It's the 3rd time he certainly went over the edge with it. Let's see what happens in this next one.
You don't get into his head with this either. It's just like, oh, okay, you got me. You're not going to do this again. This is never going to work again. And I'm not scared of you. I just, I got build over countered. I misread the situation. Looks like the fans, the commentators, and the players are ready to jump into set 4. As mentioned, the map will be Coda. This is the final Star League season of the year, the last one on Heart of the Swarm. And herO's last chance to win a Korean Star League, as he is already knocked out of the GSL this season. ByuL wants to take his first finals as well. Looks like there's a slightly longer delay here before we go into this game.
Making sure that white noise is activated for both players.
Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Everything is good and set to go. Let's jump into set 4 on Coda. ByuL versus herO. Top left in red, winning the last game with an early pull, it is ByuL. Definitely going to be somewhat helpful for his mindset, but not the best win there. Not a late game win, not a solid build order advantage in the mid game.
Doesn't send a message like the ones we've seen from herO so far. Speaking of which, down in the bottom right in the blue, it is he. He is herO. Looks like he's going to go for the same building placement pylon in the natural. Most likely going to be a gateway behind it. There we go.
Yeah, in fact, just kind of sticking with what's been working. Obviously, in the previous game, he didn't see the links.
Well, looky here. ByuL actually going to be going for an early gas and a pull behind it. 14-14. Quick speed links on the map.
This is something that herO will scout.
Oh, wait. Never mind. Cancel that extractor. Saw the probe on the way.
Yeah, he knows that if the probe sees this, it's a big problem. But this alone is somewhat of a problem, just simply because his hatch is somewhat delayed with his own build order.
Yeah, he's going to try to sneak this drone behind, stop the probe from denying it.
That's really smart.
That's what I do every game. 100%.
You're so smart. You're pro level.
I'm pro level. Well, there we go. Hatchery goes down.
If he hadn't done that as well, I mean, these are the little things in StarCraft that you do on like Grandmaster's Ladder and that ByuL does it in the Grand Finals that are so beautiful. If he doesn't actually show if he doesn't show the drone, he can do that. But if he shows the drone, his pool is so late, it's going to be a forever pull. And he's going to just pylon black that, and it's a nightmare.
That's right. You can just deny for a long time. Dance that probe around. It creates a lot of problems, a little bit of frustrating sort of situation. Beyond that, just a normal sort of startup from both sides. Here, he did this every other game, but it got aggressive when he finally finished that cyber core and we saw that robo go down. Let's see if he wants to do that again or normalize things this time around.
Yeah, that's the question. This probe is going to hide back here to try to get some extra scouting info about what's going on. Perhaps expecting early gas just the same, and he's going to come in and find, in fact, it's not. So a great little hidden scout. Both players hiding their early workers to get a small advantage, and we'll see that extractor coming up. Knows it's very late.
Yeah, it's a 4-minute extractor. Nothing out of the ordinary here. He's like, okay, I can work with this. You might lose a probe for it, but still a pretty important scout.
Yeah, it's one of those scouts where ByuL doesn't get really angry about it or like he doesn't get frustrated because this. It is pretty frustrating, but it's not a tilting scout. It's like, oh, he saw what I was doing was pretty normal.
And he canceled as well, so in the end of all things, no link speed on the map for a long time. Simply going to be droning up 3 bases, which is also a great way to go about it.
Now, with that extra, mining with extra drones off the extractor, you can drone up 3 bases, use all that larva, get the extra queens out pretty quickly as well. You see a Zealot forcing its way across the map, and a Stalker to follow it up, though. And without speed, this can kind of snowball into a small advantage.
Yeah, you can do a lot of aggression, especially, no speed on the map. The Stalker's going to be living for a very long time, kiting just about everything, so long as it's not on creep.
Yeah, it's got the same speed off creep as those Lings.
Oh, Lings are going to get a big scout off there. Stalker out of place.
This has kind of been a consistent theme for this series, the Lings finding their way into...
Oh, and a probe nearly going down as well.
Yeah, finding the way into the base, getting some scouting, nearly killing a probe, as you mentioned. In this case, there's nothing to see, but he knows it's likely going to be a sentry follow-up into a third base at this point.
Yeah, need to see a forge go down in a couple of gateways if he wants to solidify that. And if not, then it should be another tech building.
This Zealot does, get totally microed out against herO, and 2 wings coming down for that. So a lot better of a trade for ByuL, who's continued to drone like a madman. Also finally started to take those gases.
Yeah, 400 minerals, still no commitment to anything from herO. It kind of feels like it's just going to be an empty third, like no tech buildings, no upgrades, and there it is. And behind this, he's going to throw down a bunch of gateways and just keep investing into sentries, so he has a lot of force fields in case anything comes his way.
Yeah, or if he wants to do a timing attack with that empty third, as you were mentioning, keep in mind that this is not scouted from ByuL yet, this third nexus, so he has really no information. The lings that he had nearby were at the other location, which is to the north of herO's main base, where of course there's nothing.
Overlord sees it.
He sees it now.
All right, he knows what's going on here. Forge behind this, as well as the gateways are beginning to be made, but ByuL really has no answer for this. He's just going to have to let it go and deal with it and make a lot of drones to compensate.
You see the sentries going to try to deny this Overlord now that Mothership 4 is out. Bringing a Phoenix up now to get some additional scouting information of what ByuL is doing. He's up to 50 drones now. We're going to see him stop there for a moment. Roachborn coming up. Cancel on that power, replacing the cannon. But, the third base here for herO, it's not insanely greedy. It is pretty quick. If it was 2 Roachborns coming down from ByuL, I'd be really worried for herO, because we have seen him die to that burrow roach movement in the past.
That might just be the perfect sort of answer for this, get out that really quick burrow movement speed. Especially when you're seeing herO invest so lightly in upgrades and any sort of tech so far. He's finally getting that Twilight down now, but he's just been investing in sentries so far. He's lightly sort of light defense for everything that's been built so far.
Yeah. It looks like basically what ByuL's response is to this is light pressure into kind of just going for the late game. Checking the line of sight block, you don't know what's there.
Oh, could get it, but
too many sentries over here. And actually, this is going to be something he does have to respond to. Let's see if he makes any roaches here, if he's just going to stick with the lings. 5 roaches.
5 roaches. Melee upgrade as well as roach speed.
Interesting combo there.
See how many roaches he meant to do. Oh, ran up in there. There we go.
Oh man, this again, like I said, it's kind of a consistent theme for this series. It's just simply ByuL getting lings in the base.
Lings find a way every time, and a lot of probes actually going to be going down here. There's no answers. 4 already, and the mining has stopped.
Make that 5, it looks like, here as the gas run is sniped. He might find more. All of these units are going back to the main base, and during all of this, ByuL continues to make lings. He's going to Ling Hydra, it looks like. With roach speed, I guess perhaps just for safety.
Just in case, and I do like this double upgrades for the lings as well. Could mean he wants to invest later down the track into ultras if he gets to that stage. But Ling Roach Hydra for now, very powerful. We'll see if he wants to go into that hive tech for the Vipers to help out as well. Yeah. So many gateways going down.
So many gates. We're seeing just a plethora of tech from ByuL. He's getting the Spire now, as well as Hydra range. The 1-1 upgrades for Ultras and Lings, and a 4th base. Far to the right side. This is something that if herO scouts might be able to hit pretty hard, but it's unlikely he will scout it at this stage of the game. And this looks like it's probably going to go late game. I mean, it's looking that way.
Well, we say that, but when we see herO move across the map, and I kind of get the impression we are going to see this 3-base all-in with Blink Stalker +2 from him.
He does have a ton of gateways. I think he's got 9 or 10.
He made so many gateways. He's still making probes right now, though, so it's not like he's cutting economy just yet. But this counterattack's going to buy ByuL a lot more time.
Especially if the Zealot's not in hold position in the right spot.
Oh, look at
forces
that.
a recall.
Recall. A lot of Stalkers walked in here. Kind of gives away exactly what herO wants to do as well. And already Hydra's on the way. Sort of a great situation for ByuL to be in right now. He just has to be in place with all his units.
Yeah. This gives time for the Hydras to now kind of ball up and get ready, whereas before he actually was hitting the attack. Right now the Hydras are becoming out little by little. They can get force field off, they can get trapped up the ramps, trying to reinforce from those bases. But as it is now, they're all together, and it's actually kind of the right comp to deal with what herO has. The Lings getting on top of the sentries is somewhat essential in this fight as well. He's actually heading for that 4th base. He did scout it.
This is a dangerous place to be, especially for ByuL. He does not have Hydra speed for a long time, and if he gets caught out here, he loses everything.
He's making 11 drones. He totally misjudged this, but still, he's got a lot of Hydras out already. Stalker's actually blinking away from the Hydras towards the Roaches.
Yeah, big blink forward there, and these Roaches are going to trade pretty nicely with these Stalkers.
Especially because some of the Hydras can actually still fight, and now does he have enough for a recall? We don't know. I think he does not yet, but he's about to.
He really committed there. He wanted to get up the ramp and try and deny this fourth base. We'll have a look at the sentries in just a second time.
No more force fields after that set. That was the last one.
Well, I don't think he's actually going to have enough to kill it either.
Okay, he does have enough for a recall. Looks like he's just going to try to focus it down and recall at the last second. Meanwhile, 7 ByuL is on the way.
Oh, the eject for some reason as well.
Okay, recall away.
Is it worth it? I'm going to say no. He lost just about everything there. Sentries are essentially gone. There's one left over. That is not going to help out against this many Hydras.
And the Hydras are going to be attacking the third base while the ByuLists go into the main. It's going to be a nice split here.
19 Hydras already out to the 14 Stalkers right now. So big advantage army-wise for ByuL. That was a big trade out for herO.
I think one of herO's biggest opportunities in this game, going into the mid-game now, is these Zealot drops. He needs to come over there and find some damage. He has charged and committed a lot of resources to that. He needs to try to fight on the high ground. You know, his logo in Star League is a Blink logo for a reason. Look at that to the top right of the Stalker portrait. There's Blink, man. He's got it, and he's going to have to use this to actually hold this attack off and maintain tempo so that he does not actually get overwhelmed as he twitches tech.
Well, he's still down 30 supply, nearly 40. These meters are going to create such havoc. This is a classic ByuL move. Only ByuL is really the Zerg doing it against Protoss. Making a handful of meters to deny a lot of mining while he goes for an attack.
And now, as the Mutalists draw the Stalkers away, the Hydras are here, and they're going to hit the Cyber Core, which means a switch into bigger meters is strong. Also, you're going to need range to steal these Hydras. Even with Zealot charge, they're not the right unit composition. And he's taking a fourth base during all this, but the Zealots in the main are not dealt with yet. They're still finding damage.
That's right, but look at this positioning from the Hydra Roach. Let's see if it works out, though. Charge lots are going to be dealing a lot of damage. It looks like it's going to clean it up.
Yeah. We do see that more and more probes are being killed in the main base from these ByuLists during all of this. I have to say, overall, a better trade for ByuL. He doesn't have a massive bank, but with that fourth base finishing up, he's going to have, you know, something to transition into. He's still got good upgrades.
Yeah, you know, not the best sort of situation for ByuL after all that said and done, simply because he never remade that fourth base. It's still gone. He really needed that to get ahead. He actually made another one towards the center there, sorry. Damn it, it's painful when I don't have my observer PC, but
it just finished though. I mean, it's not been up for a while. It was pretty late. It was not remade immediately. So your point still stands.
And they're pretty even in supply still, which could be a big problem if herO goes for that counter attack.
He has Archons now. Broodlords are still not on the table. He doesn't have Vipers, making his first one now. herO struggling to make the choice whether he wants to take a fourth base or attack. He has a decent bank. He could go ahead and push for an attack. 10 Zealots and another Archon. I think he's going for it.
I think he has to at this point. It's kind of running past that time where you really either have that fourth base or you're going for an all-in. And he kind of dealt with that first wave of army from ByuL, so he knows there's no massive Hydras compared to what there was.
Oh man, a free Archon. That's a huge win here for ByuL.
Messy sort of rotation
This Cyber remake is so late that he just doesn't, he can only make Archons and Zealots, so he doesn't have a lot of range damage with this. Look, 21 Zealots, they have charge.
This is still a pretty scary army from herO.
Yep, a hallucinated immortal. The blinding cloud here kind of whipped a little bit. The Archons closing the distance, but there's a lot of range damage behind those force fields.
Yeah, those forces were pretty good to box in a lot of those Hydras there, and these Archons are going to town. So much damage still from herO.
A huge warp in, and 20 supply of the supply you see lead for ByuL is actually in workers. He now gets on top of the Roaches, which do not have as many upgrades as the Lings. And this is a big problem. This Archon force is now wedging between these bases. The Warp Prism's still at full health, and he's got another set of warp ins.
Big warp into Stalkers this time around. Now that that Cyber Core is finished, he's going to go for the kill here. Looks like he wants to jump on top of the production.
The Greater Spire is finished, but not a single Corruptor to be seen. It's not useful here. He cannot make Broodlords. This is still a decent position for ByuL's units. He just needs to buy more time. I just don't know if he can. 8 more Hydras on the way. He's getting +3 for Lings, which are nowhere to be seen on this map. He needs those range units.
Just nothing in position. The army is so split up, coming from all directions. GG!
herO takes his third win here and is now on match point.
Another crushing defeat for ByuL. Looked like he was in a good place, but then taking that bad fight in the natural, threw away his army, and it gave herO the space he needed to make the army. He needed to go for a counterattack and crush it.
I'm worrying now for ByuL. His only win was with an early pull, potentially an 8 pull, you know, and he went for that. He got unscouted. He won only when his opponent had the wrong build. You know, he has no legitimate wins in this series. He's only taken one from a build order win. I mean, it's a legitimate win, right? But what I mean is
It's not the win that makes you feel good. It's not the win where I outplayed him, I crushed him, I beat him, I had the better builds, I had the better plans,
it's like
execution.
the start of momentum. It's not like the game that's going to really send a message. It's going to ravel herO at all. It's like, okay, you got me with that build order win.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break before we go into the next set, which could be our last set of the night. Spread the word about this tournament. Get that link out there. We'll be right back.